Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry I'm late, but I slept late. And yes, I woke up and I made it on time, pretty much. So, my apologies. However, that's what it is. So, let's see. Luna is here, number one. So, Salam Mehranjan. Yeah, first, yes, you are the first. And shukran, tamam. And Chester says, aloha, aloha, Chester. How are you? Mahalo. Luna says, been looking forward to tuning in from UK 36 female, as always, and sending you much love. And thank you so much, Luna, and love back. Love back. 10 times more. And thank you so much for the kind words and energy. Excalibur says, my brother from another Persian mother. Okay. And says, how's it going, Mehran? Mehran Agha. Aha, okay. Says, I hope I didn't butcher the Farsi. No, you didn't. Perfect. Mehran Agha means Mr. Mehran or Mehran Sir, something like that. It's a friendly thing to say. And Excalibur said, I wasn't here last time, so I wonder how the mother and brother. Brother is fine, thank you very much. He was released from the hospital the same day, so he just needed some water pills, I guess, so the lungs would be, the water would go out. So thank you for asking. Chester says, Mehran needs beauty sleep. Yes, I do. I do need beauty sleep. I like nights, so I do lots of my work at nighttime. So, and it's funny, and I'm pretty dedicated to the videos and what I produce and answering all comments as much as possible if I see them, because lately many of them they come to my email, but I can't find them on the video, so I cannot respond to it. And some people think that I'm actually purposely ignoring or deleting their questions. However, it's a glitch in YouTube, I believe, because I see it on the email, then I want to come to the page, the video page to see it, and I don't see it. When I don't see it, and often I've gone out of my way to find that person's name screen, and from the thumb screen, the screen name, to go to their own channel, their account, and then if they have any videos there, I would make a comment, respond my comment to the one that I couldn't find there, and then hoping that they will see it. And sometimes I copy the comment from my email when I can't find it on the video page on my YouTube channel, and then I post the actual question and say that this question came from so-and-so, and I can't find it, so I answer it back here, so then I answer it. So because of that, I guess I want to share with you some statistics that I just received from YouTube, which is the way they show how, your where is it? Oh, there it is. It says 2020 Mind That Seeks Truth. It says, when 2020 went off script, you kept us inspired by uploading 10,161 minutes of content. Your hard work worth celebrating. Yeah, where's the beef? That was an advertisement for, I guess, Wendy's hamburger years ago, that they were advertising their quality of meat and portions versus other hamburgers. I guess that's the story was. And this old lady, they were trying to sell her that this hamburger, some hamburgers, not Wendy's, has this, and it's so wonderful. Then she would say, but where is the beef? And then they would show Wendy's hamburger with lots of beef in it. So the comparison. So Mom saying, where's the beef? Meaning, where's the subscribers? So he says, your hard work worth celebrating. Let's take a moment and reflect. It says, all-time highlights. You joined YouTube 2,880 days ago. And that means, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. From your first video upload until now, your fans have smashed that like button 82,473 times. You've inspired some good conversations. Fans left 68,712 comments. 68,712 comments. Listen, guys, and shared your content 17,152 times. So the ones who haven't shared, please do. And look, here's the one that I want you guys to notice. Not here, just within the next minute. 2020 didn't stop you from making moves. You picked up 2,692 new subscribers and 542,949 new views. Fans took 43,919 hours in 2020 to watch your YouTube channel, and your fans can't get enough. Your videos received 18,765 likes in 2020. That's not bad. Now, here's the one. You kept in touch with your YouTube community by responding to 41,520 comments. Damn it, that's dedication. You kept in touch with your YouTube community by responding to 41,520 comments. Can you guys imagine how long it takes to respond to 41,520 comments? I have been serious in taking your issues and concerns serious with respect and love. And I want you to take a note of that I have responded. And it says, fan returned the love by leaving 152 loves and 5 likes in your video comments. Talk about making your mark. I think that's number 5 is wrong because it just said that they put so many more. So anyhow, that was what I wanted to share with you guys, which is my homework record. So now, let's see what we have here. Well, you know, I'm proud of my dedication. I just like to have YouTube help us to be more visible. Luna says, no soup for you, dear Meron, for being late. Yes, yes, I know. But honestly, it's it's not easy when you sleep at 5 o'clock in the morning. Anyhow, I'm here. And the guy next door says, hi from Norway. Hello. And remember, a guy from Norway, we would love to have the protocol, like the gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Excalibur says, glad to hear that. Yes, I see the record. So we have from UK and Excalibur, where are you now? In States? And we have from Hawaii, we have from Norway, and we have from India. Aman says 19 male India, thank you for that. Aman says, I saw videos of Dr. Phillipson from your links, and I saw in one video he said about comorbidity and said about weak limbs and depersonalization, and I finally found out I'm suffering from it. Good, now you know. And Excalibur says, I agree, Mehran only needs an Aston Martin and a nice lady who happened to be a horse connoisseur, then we'll never see Mehran again, as he'll be quite busy. Well, thank you for that illusion. Hmm. Slobodan Milicic, I hope I didn't butcher the name, says, hello, Mehran. 21, Belgrade. Ah, Belgrade. My father always wanted to see Belgrade, and he did. He did travel, and he saw Belgrade, and he he thought it's a beautiful city. Uh, a few years before he passed away, so I guess someday I would like to see it, as just to share that with my father and see how it looks. I've heard a lot about it. Guy next door says it's a common problem. Is it? Oh no, so it's a common problem if someone has posted a lot of comments. YouTube sometimes interprets it as spam. Oh, and doesn't show it publicly. Oh, I see, I see. Interesting. Hmm. Says shadow banning, I think it's called. Oh, interesting, interesting. Just one moment, guys. All right. All right. Sorry for the interruption. I had to say my greetings. We usually have this ritual of greeting in the morning whenever we start our day, or with my son, and so, um, so we have here. Excalibur says that's a lot of replies from the community. Damn, yeah, it is. I'm dedicated. I've shown it. I just need to see people finding the channel. Excalibur says, of course, it takes an entirety. It takes eternity to reply to all of them. It does. It does, because I don't just necessarily, if it's necessary, like if it's not just a hello, okay, I say hello back and I appreciate the comment. But if it's something that needs answering, I take the time. You've seen my comments. It's like yay long. And it's because if there's a question and concern and I mean to be helpful, so I need to respond to it, address it properly. And while I prefer them showing at the live stream, because typing and writing and all that is just, it's like it's not that convenient, really, honestly. And Luna says, I love that. I think it's great that YouTube recognizes your achievements, and so they should. It's also slightly jarring just how specifically they have managed to tally the stats. Orwell was the okay. They probably have this program. They do it for everybody. It's not just me. I'm sure they send it to everyone who has an account. Lunas is onto something. Yeah. And Mabruk for the channel. Mubarak. For the channel that you do. Thank you, Luna Jan. Thank you so much. Mubarak, yes. Is that a is that you meant to say Mubarak in Farsi, or is it a Arabic word for that? Congratulations. In any case, thank you. Will Robertson says, hi, mail from the UK 25. Thank you for that. And the guy next door says, mail 36, Norway. Obviously. Obviously. Oh, it's because it says the guy next door. Oh, you never know how the screen names are. Chester says, Mehran, I know this is off topic, but have you seen the newest episode of Mandalorian? Oh yeah, it was great. I loved it. It was really Star Wars-ish, and I loved it when they were escaping from that canteen, where he went to get the coordinates, and then they kicked the window out, and they went on the ledge, and then I think Kara is her name, the amazing looking fit woman, tough with the guns, and so they were protecting them while they were on the ledge and trying to escape. It was action packed, and it was cool. And that new addition to them, the comedian, famous comedian, I think it's Bill Barr, I think. He did a good job too. Yeah, it was great. It was a great episode. I really liked it. Says, I wasn't able to watch it this week due to work. What's your opinion? Oh, you weren't? So I gave it away? Did I spoil it for you? You should have told me that you haven't watched it. I thought you did. Says, I wasn't able to watch it this week due to work. What's your opinion about it? Oh, it's great. Watch it. Watch it. I hope I didn't spoil it for you. Aman says, if is stop the rumination, is it chances of my HOCD decrease? Listen, you're focusing on it too much. I'm just asking you to focus on facts. And facts are that this is a malfunction of the signaling system in the brain. And it's a thought manufacture, it's a brain manufacture thoughts and suggestions and images. And it's the malfunction of the caudate nucleus that is not shutting the intrusive thoughts automatically. And you don't get fooled and don't fall into the trap to thinking that the brain that is suggesting these intrusive thoughts is you, and that you got to comply with it. You have your values. You know who you are, what you want, what you prefer, how it's been, what you want you to be and have been and like to be. Your choice. It trumps it all. It's the ultimate power and decision maker, not the suggestion of the brain. So regardless of what the brain suggests, however it suggests, you are the commander. You are the God of you. You choose what you prefer, what you are. You love what you are, so you protect those values that you're supposed to protect. Everybody in this life cannot be like a mosquito wherever the wind blows or the pressure or the suggestion or the promotion is to fly that direction. Everybody's supposed to be like an oak tree with roots in the ground, meaning protecting your values. Everybody's supposed to protect their values, what's meaningful to them, rather than being subjected to suggestions of other people's based on what they prefer or want to manipulate and use you for, or protect yourself against the things that the brain conjures up. You're supposed to have a protective system, and that is your values. That is who you are. That is what you have chosen for you to be your values, your selections, what's meaningful to you. based on your preferences and what you see yourself to be, what you want yourself to be, what you prefer yourself to be. And those are kept in your core principles, in your wise advocate, in your gatekeeper, in your super consciousness. Those are what needs to be protected. And you protect them against the attackers, which could be people from out there, whatever age you may be, or your brain attacking and suggesting all these things. So you cannot simply take directions from the brain or suggestions from out there, people who are abusive or perverts or have any motive to use you for whatever purposes they want. You're supposed to be protecting yourself, and you protect yourself through protecting your values, meaning you ignore what is not suitable to you in your opinion. Regardless of how many suggestions, a million suggestions a day shows up in your head, you million times more protect your values. That's how you rewire your brain to show that what brain suggests doesn't count. What I, the me in the brain, which owns the brain and owns everything else, the me, that suggestion, that command, that stands. That's how you approach. Otherwise you'll always be, somebody said that. Does that mean I'm now that? Somebody said that. But you're going to be like a mosquito in the wind. So ignore what needs to be ignored according to your choice and your command and your preferences, and that's how you protect yourself. Your values would be your beacon. Don't wait till this thing announces that, okay, I'm defeated, I'm gone, HOCD, you can now live your life, Aman. Don't wait for that. You know what it is through education, you understand how it works, what it is, what causes it, and then you go on with your life regardless of how long of your life this thing shows up and lingers or not. You don't care about probes, you care about the roots of this oak tree. That's how you live. And Wayne Harmon has sent us 20 pounds super chat. Thank you for that, Wayne. Says, hi Mehran, a small contribution to say thank you. I bought your books over a year ago, and your teachings helped me in better understanding how the brain works, improving my life. Best wishes from Ireland. Delighted to hear that, and love you for sharing that with us. And I thank you for, of course, helping the channel as well. But most important, delighted that the books are helpful to you, the videos and discussions are helpful to you, and I cherish these comments. And let's see, where are we? Slobodon Milichik says, can HOCD make you look like you want to be gay and enjoy it? Of course. That's the whole thing. It tries to take over the me in this entity and show that the me is secondary to the brain, while the brain is doing all this due to its malfunction, not because this is what you are. And it's trying to convince you of its malfunctioning, that it's not malfunctioning, by the malfunctioning brain. So if you're being convinced that what malfunctioning brain is suggesting is true, you gotta remember, it is the malfunctioning brain that is trying to tell you, defend its malfunctioning and not saying that it's malfunctioning, trying to behave and pretend that, no, it's normal. But in fact, it's a malfunctioning brain that is trying to converse with you and convince you that its malfunction is not malfunction. How could a malfunctioning brain be able to do justice in measuring itself up and calibrating itself and trying to convince you that it's not malfunctioning while its logic comes from the malfunctioning side? So obviously it's going to defend what it is saying, which is due to malfunction and is using the malfunctioning brain to defend itself. So you cannot believe it at all. You stand for your values. Remember how it was. And that is what you preferred and liked and wanted, and how you were and how you are. Understand, you hold the values. If you were anything other than what you always have been, you would not be objecting to this. You would not be asking me, does HOCD do this? You would say, hallelujah, that's who I am. There's no question. You never question what you are. You always question what you are not. So if the brain comes up with something that it's questionable to you, well, if it was you, you wouldn't have a question about it. Look at one of the videos that I have, that it talks about you always question what you are not. If you are what you are, what's the question about it? So if you look at my playlist, intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts, there is a video that I believe it's called Malfunctioning Brain. I'm not sure. It's a long video. You know, I'm wordy, but I believe this is necessary in such topics to be wordy, because neuroplasticity takes place by rewiring. Neuroplasticity takes place by repetition of what it is that you want to rewire your brain for. So the more you think about the discussion and become aware of the education of it, the more you will be focusing on that, which the more it would plow over all these nonsense that is trying to occupy your brain. So you kind of washing it with fresh water when you focus on facts and science about the brain's malfunction. So it is a bit wordy, but the malfunctioning brain, I think, is the one that I have discussions about how you can tell your brain is malfunctioning, and the fact that if this was not contrary to your preferences, you wouldn't be questioning it. Not that, oh, am I being convinced? Oh, something is making me feel this way. You had none of that when it wasn't. So obviously this is not normal to you. What you've always been, wanted to be, and always functioned as was normal to you. You never questioned that. But you're questioning this. That means this is your cue that the brain is trying to convince you from something that you're not, and it's using its malfunctioning brain to convince you that it's not malfunctioning. Don't fall for that shit. The guy next door says, yup, I agree. Being able to identify what your problems are is crucial to break bad old habits and take necessary actions. All right. Where were we? Ghetto, Ghetto is here. Ghetto says, Mr. Maron, I think you should add in the hashtag even breakup. Oh, really? Even breakup? Why? Why even? Explain to me a little bit more about why even breakup. I think we would have more people. Oh, okay. But what What is it supposed to say? Even breakup? Why not breakup? I have said here, oh, the title. You're not talking about title. You're talking about the hashtag. In hashtags, I have breakup, but you think even breakup, like two words. But they would have to be stuck together, otherwise the hashtag wouldn't work. And Luna says, yes, it's Arabic, Mubarak. Yes, but you said Mabruk. That's why I questioned it. I thought maybe Mabruk is Arabic. And Luna says, I agree with Ghetto. Really? Let me know what you mean. Why the word even could have, saying, why even? Even breakup. What is that? Okay. Help me out to understand. And Chester says, it's cool, Mehran, lol. I'm cool with spoiler. Yeah, yeah, well. Well, actually, it's, yeah, I know, it's spoiler. But sorry, I didn't know you hadn't seen it. And he says it's spoiler alert. Yeah, that's right. Sorry about that, guys. Aman says, I feel like stuck in illusion in future that I'm out of HOCD effects, but they stay inside me and do its stuff, like keeping me attracting to girls, etc. Well, listen, you keep talking about it as if it has the ultimate power on you. You are the ultimate power of you. So understand that you are in control. You see the facts and you see what it's trying to do. You see the illusion. You see the trap. You see the manipulation. And when you see all that, then it doesn't have a power because the jig is up. You're not being fooled. It says, but they are insensate and stuff like keeping me not attracted to girls. I'm afraid that I might get in illusion of getting out of it completely, but still got stuck in future. No, it doesn't matter. It's thoughts. As long as you understand these are thoughts and you shouldn't pay attention to them, you only get stuck with them if you pay attention to them. But when they show up, you recognize them, that there is an intrusive thought. It's like an intruder comes to your grounds, to your ranch or to your home in the yard, and you recognize there's an intruder, then now you're not going to be taken off guard. You know there is a malfunction, there's an intruder there. Then you recognize it, you spot it, and then you call it for what it is, and you're aware of it, then you won't fall for its bullshit because you're aware the source is an intrusion, not facts. Then it can say whatever it says, you just ignore it and do your own thing because you have become aware that there is an intrusion. There is an intrusion in the area. So you're aware of it. It's not like you don't know what it is, what is suggesting it. You think it's a credible source. No, you know it's not a credible source. So you know it's an intrusion. You know it's intrusive thoughts. Therefore, on that basis, you say, okay, I know you're intrusive, so I don't give a damn about you. You ignore it because I've figured you out. That's it. That's how you deal with it. Chester says, if only Mehran was a Jedi, then he could mind control all our intrusive thoughts away. There we go. I'm strong with force, but I'm not a Jedi yet. Or maybe I am. Maybe I am. We have Stephen here. Says, hello, Mehran. Stephen, male 4D, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. And just a little notation, guys. By the way, there are 14 of us here and 8 likes. The lazy asses get on with it. Didn't you see my record sheet came from the school. YouTube just praised me for having so many likes and so many this. So get on with it. Don't ruin the record. um, Steven says having kind of a bad day at work, but it's all in my mind, I guess. But she didn't smile at you. Should I get the ugly stick and come and, beat some sense into your head? That's it. Your whole day is up and down if she smiles or she doesn't, or she gives you this, or she comes and sit with you or not. I hope it's not about her. It's just work stuff. Because I'm just going to send my my ambassador, the ugly stick, to have a chat with you. And Luna says, Steve, oh, okay, you last second. See, Aman says, I try to talk with girls. I feel no excitement or need to talk. Even with the same girl I used to like before, HOCD. This gives me anxiety and I'm not mentally. I know this is part of HOCD, but what do I do? Nothing. The fact is you're looking for a result, whatever you do. And when you don't see the result right away in obliviating the HOCD feelings stuff shit, then you get disappointed because you're constantly looking for validation from what it is that you are paying attention or not paying attention to, what it is, how it is that you're treating the thoughts of HOCD. Then you're looking for what effect did it have? How did it change? Did it go away? Did it not? That brings the anxiety itself. You're supposed to be cucumber, not give a shit. HOCD shows up, you recognize it, and keep on going. You recognize intrusive thought, keep on going. Don't say, oh, I recognize it, so how come it's not going away? Oh, why is it not reduced? Don't do that. Why is it that I don't like to talk to the girl as much as I did before? But I did try, but why is it not? All these are creating more anxiety for you. You should not give a shit. You say, I am who I am, hell or high water. I am sticking to protecting what I like, prefer, and what I want, which is I am what I've always been, a heterosexual male, and I like girls. Now, this HOCD is now interfering with all these natural feelings of mine. I understand that. So I will write it out by the prescriptions that psychotherapists and so on that you have searched and understood how it works from their links that I put in my videos, and you will comply to that as long as it takes, and you continue your life as normally as you've always done, despite of the thoughts that appear in your head. You ignore them until the brain gets the idea that you don't give a shit, you're not buying into it, and it will have no choice but subsiding these intrusive thoughts. They will reduce because you have not engaged them with energy, you have not discussed with them, debated with them, and considered them any source of credibility in order to converse about this. You've simply noticed their intrusion and dissed them. That's it. Like many things you notice in the street and you walk by because they are not of your interest or a proper behavior from your side to interact with it. Like a dog shit you see on the side of the street, or vomit or spit or whatever, or many other garbage or debris that it is not of your liking. So what do? They're there. You can't say, well, I noticed it. How come it's not going away? How come the street is not being cleaned up? It's not. You just got to keep on going and negotiate your way throughout all these things that exist in life, including thoughts, not just the material out there that is unsuitable to you, also thoughts. And you got to learn to negotiate your way and ignore them, diss them, and continue your way. That is called focus on your life. And there's so many distractions in life, but you want to focus on what is important and meaningful to you, not what is meaningless. Don't bring your attention to things that are meaningless. Focus on what is meaningful within your values, and ignore what does not line up with your values, what does not measure up based on your values. That's how you measure up what you pay attention to, what you're not. That's why when the intrusive thought shows up and it's not meeting with your values, not in line with your values, it's meaningless to you. Therefore, you focus on what it is that you want to accomplish, not the stuff that showed up. That's how you would have to do for a million years if it comes up, because that is how we do. It's like a sea, we try to swim away from it into an island. So you keep swimming regardless of what kind of waves, what kind of a thing shows up. You keep focused on what you want to accomplish, which is getting to the shore, to the island. And that's what your prime directive is. And on the way to swim to that island, many things could show up. Sharks, fish, this, what is it, other things in the water, or debris, or waves, or rain, or thunder. You can't constantly say, oh, thunder, rain, okay, oh, shark, oh. You gotta keep on going. And the same thing with the brain. Brain shows up nonsense, you ignore it, because you've got a mandate. What is that mandate? Quality of life. You don't let it spoil it. You focus on what it is that you want to accomplish, what it is that you prefer to do on that particular moment or day. You keep swimming toward that shore. And when you get to the shore, then you say, I got what I wanted to do. I live the way I like to live, and I don't care what suggestions, what thoughts, what intrusive thoughts, who out there or what in here suggests. I am focused on the quality of my life based on my values and my preferences. So that's what you think about what you are, not what's being suggested. When you get to the island, go watch some hula dancing. Don't let the brain set the rhythm of your life. The brain is stupid because it thinks it knows everything, but it doesn't. It's actually a material process. It has nothing to do with your mind. Brain and mind are different. The studies that they have done, they've understood that you are beyond brain. You are more than the brain. You may think brain is you or is got the intellect, but brain is not the intellect. Brain is a calculator. As I mentioned before, Dr. Roger Sperry did the experiment on brain, and they cut the connection between the two hemispheres. I think it's called corpus callosum, I believe. And corpus callosotomy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the word when they cut that connection. And after that, they realized, even though the brain is severed between the two hemispheres, no changes, no visible changes have been caused to the person. The person remains the same. Even though the brain is cut, he's not becoming two personalities or two people. Everything still works intact. So that means there's something more than the brain, because they have understood that even they get into amazing smashed accidents, whatnot, brain doesn't get destroyed so easily. Even in the state of vegetation, that people think a person who is in state of vegetation, vegetative state, that he or she cannot understand anything. Dr. Owen was able to, the imaging, MRI imaging, communicate and understand that the brain works, and that person actually 70 or what, certain percentage of them, they actually understand, even though they look like they're in vegetative state. So they have proven that the brain is working when you actually think it's doing. They've proven that what brain is actually doing is not everything that you're all about. We certainly need the brain to do calculations and calculus and so on and so forth. But they have not been able to localize your personality, your being, your preferences, your intellectual abilities in the actual brain. They have shown that there is more than brain. And Dr. Penfield was able, and these two doctors, both Roger Speary and Dr. Penfield, were working on epilepsy, trying to cure epilepsy. That's why they cut the two hemispheres. So because epilepsy starts from one hemisphere and then through the corpus callosum, it goes into the other, and then you have a general seizure. So when they cut that, the seizure went away and reduced, and they felt better. But there was more than the person, more up to the person than the brain. That's why when it was cut, nothing else was lost, and they had to do a Nobel Prize research to find that subtle changes when that happens. Otherwise, in almost every aspect, the person remains the same. And Dr. Penfield from Montreal did a study, and he was a neurosurgeon. These are all brilliant neurosurgeons, and in between 1930s and 1960s, he tried to probe different parts of the brain because, and while the patient was awake, because the brain doesn't feel pain. The skin and the bone, yeah, but once you localize anesthetic, use local anesthetics and get through that, the brain itself doesn't feel pain. So they could probe and get responses from the patient, and they could localize many different things in the brain. Like they could stimulate some part and make you say something, or stimulate some part, make you move your arm, or facial muscles to be changed by stimulating parts of the brain. But they never could stimulate or localize a place in the brain where intellect is, like making you do calculus or start doing math, or stimulating a part of the brain and you start talking politics. So they figured, why is it that you cannot localize intellect? Because the intellect doesn't exist in the brain. It's only material process. So the materialists who were thinking that everything is a brain, you are the brain, and everything, that you have no free will. But these scientists proven that you actually do, and you are beyond the brain, and brain is not the intellect. And I will make a video in more elaboration about this, because this is going to go long if I continue it. However, when they try to what was I going to say? I forgot. So anyhow, through all these experiments, they have proven that brain is not you. You're not the brain. And Dr. Schwartz, in his Brain Lock book, and Dr. Roger Speary with his experiments to help with what was it problem? Seizures, and Dr. Penfield with all his experiences, they have proven. They said when you get a seizure, why is it that you don't get an intellectual seizure? Like you get some muscles start twitching, and sometimes the twitching is so much that you just pass out. Like, you know, you could do some, but your seizure never makes you, if it's localized in the brain, then, and if there is an intellect, because there was a thought in the past that intellectual people have a spot in their brain, that's where the intellect is, the special smart people. And that's what their belief was in the past. But then they said if there is a seizure, and seizure can take over, your whole, behavior. So why is it that there's no seizure that actually makes you behave intellectual seizure, like start talking politics, start doing algebra or calculus? And that's if it has a location in the brain, then it should have to be what is it, affected by the seizure itself too. So they prove that the intellect doesn't reside in the brain. Intellect is beyond. That's where the mind comes to the picture. So when you understand all these, then you understand what is being suggested by the brain is a malfunction that is being causing the brain to create certain sensations and feelings, thoughts and suggestions. But it is not you, because you are beyond the brain. So what brain makes you think or suggest is not a discovery of you, is not pertaining you, is pertaining what malfunction or what it can suggest as something that is material process. That's all. But what you are and so on and so forth is not material process. So don't worry about interpreting the malfunction of the brain as if it's you. I hope it makes sense to you guys, but it's interesting to me. So we have 22 people here and 9 likes. Are you guys sleeping? Did you not hear what I just said? What's going on? That's a cover charge. Click on likes. Damn it. Now, we have Gato says, no, in the hashtag, I see only hashtag intrusive, hashtag OCD, hashtag HOCD. Oh, so you mean to put hashtag breakup. I got it. I understand. I understand. Let me see if I can do it now. Just hang on, guys. Where are the hashtags? Oh, there it is. So I can take intrusive out. I can put breakup. Right? Breakup. Let's see. There we go. Check it out. I can't see it here now. Check it out, see if it's changed. Ghetto. Because we can only have 3 hashtags. That's why I had to take intrusive out and put that one. Luna says, yes, Mabruk is Arabic for Mubarak. Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. There we go. Thank you for that. Steven says, I gave the girl I'm dating space. I gave the girl I'm dating space by not texting her and began this before Thanksgiving. I've only been interacting with her at work, which is every Thursday and Friday. She seems happy to see me and always gives me these hugs, smiles at work. And Steven says, last week before seeing her at work, I sent her a text asking how she's been. She replied back that she was working on her school project, and I told her I haven't been texting her much. I haven't been texting her much because I don't want to distract her from school. Last week, I worked with her and I asked her out to this Korean barbecue place soon as they open up again, and she said yes. Problem I'm having is that every interaction I have with her at work, I'm always replaying it in my mind, asking how it went and if she still likes me. It's like my OCD seeking assurances. It's like I have this doubt and fear. Maybe it's from my past relationship or because she pulled away a couple months ago. Why am I like this? Well, it doesn't matter why, it matters how to deal with it. You deal with anxiety in many cases with anxiety, which means you allow this thought to do what it's supposed to do, the obsession, but you don't do anything about it. You just let it do what it makes you feel anxious about. What if she doesn't like me? Is she still going to be like me? Oh, just let them be, but don't pay attention to them. Like, don't allow them to take over your thinking, but recognize that these thoughts have been created, and also recognize that you don't give a shit about it. So in other words, you the anxiety, let it be, let it rise, but don't text her, don't get into ruminating, don't allow anxiety make you respond to it. Just don't respond to the anxiety. Just do your normal daily things. And that's in the back of your head that, okay, this worries or this fear is there that she might not like me. Or would she change her mind about going out with me? But don't debate on it. Just recognize that, okay, that suggestion came, but I choose not to entertain that suggestion, not to talk about it or entertain it or pay attention to it. I recognize that nonsense is there. But it is uncertainty, and I'm okay with uncertainty. I will find out when I find out. I don't need assurance. I don't need assurance for something that hasn't happened. When it happens, then I know, okay, it's real. I'm going out with her. If she said no, then I know it's real. She's not going out with me. But at the moment, when in fact she has said, yes, I'll go out with you when the restaurant's open, you're trying to get assurance for this, which hasn't happened yet. I mean, that's illogical, right? So if you focus on this, then you would not respond to your anxiety. You let the anxiety rise and endure the anxiety, so your level of reception or endurance of anxiety will go higher, and not things so easily can bother you anymore, because you have gained a certain kind of a capacity for handling anxiety by letting it be there and not do anything about it. Not feel like I have to get assurance to reduce the anxiety. No, I let the anxiety go up. See what happens. It's not going to kill me. So what? Yeah, she doesn't come out. Okay, fine. So what? She doesn't go out with me. Okay, fine. You know, it's like you have a tennis appointment with your friend, and you're not sure if you like to play tennis, but you really want to play tennis, but you're not sure if he or she is going to cancel at the last moment or not. You know how friends cancel things at the last moment? You know, your best friend or your, whatever, guy friend, at the last moment that he's supposed to go, let's say, I don't know, tennis or basketball with you, then he finds a date. Some girl says, yeah, we can go out. And then your friend calls you and says, hey, buddy, I can't go to tennis because, I don't know, I got to wash my car. Or he doesn't tell you the truth. Or tells you the truth, says, listen, this girl called and, it's an opportunity. I want to go out with her. So these anxieties could exist, but you simply don't care about it. Say, okay, I am supposed to play tennis. If things go okay, then nothing urgent comes up, I'll play tennis. That's all. But there is a possibility that, tennis might not happen because, I don't know, my friend might find a date, or the court would not be available, or I don't know, something. That's possible. Well, why should I focus on that it is not sure, while that thing that I'm supposed to do is More evidence that it will happen than evidence that it won't, because the date for my friend hasn't been found. I'm healthy, my hand doesn't work. The court is available, I've made a reservation. So all these shows that there's more gravitation toward the tennis happening. But instead, I'm putting all this aside and I'm focusing on that one thing that maybe my friend finds a date and won't be able to, or maybe they're just going to cancel my tennis court reservation. Why? Why would I think about these things that don't have a good chance to happen, but focus on and not consider the fact that have great chance to happen, which is I've got the tennis court, my friend has committed to play tennis, and I'm okay, and so on and so forth. And I have the money to pay for the court. So why are you going on a negative? Because the brain is constantly functioning on the negative energy, on the negative stuff, because being negative, it's its way of protecting you, making sure you won't be hurt or disappointed and so on. So it's always conjuring up about things that you should be aware and alert about, which extends out to OCD and HOCD and many other intrusive thoughts, and not just this. So you need to be able to create this ability to put up with things that may be suggested, but not take them seriously or pay attention to them. You can notice them, but that's the extent of it. That's how life is. You have a job appointment. You may get it, you may not. But if you focus on the fact that I am not going to get it, then you won't even show up to the appointment. So nothing, you will make no effort to make anything happen, because all the time there's going to be certain kind of a worry percentage in there. Are you going to be focused on the worry? If human being was supposed to focus on the things that may have stopped other things that they wanted to happen, we would have never come to this age. We would have never be able to have aircrafts flying and cars going and manufacturing plants and other technologies and things, because there is always a stumbling block or negativity that it might not work. So on the basis of that it might not work, let's just don't even try. Same thing with you. This is what you do. She might change her mind. She might not like me. So because of that, you're going to put everything else that is clear. She said, yes, I'll go out with you. Yes, I like you. She smiles or she gives you a hug. None of that matters. Only the fucking bullshit that is in your head, that's the one that sets out the tone of your relationship between you and her. And you should be okay if ever someday she says, oh, I want to go on my own way. Okay, go. But that's not the time yet. It's like you buy a milk and you worry about getting spoiled. You put it in the fridge and drink it before it spoils and no problems. Yeah, someday it may spoil, but it's not that day yet. So why you worry about it? It's fresh now. Jesus. You get the idea? All right. Get a grip, guys. You guys are going to make me ill with all these worries and things and getting me all hyped up. God damn it. Start being able to see the good in life too. As much as you want to be prepared for the things that you don't like and might happen, okay, if it happens, then you do something about it. But why should you worry about it when it hasn't happened? Start having gratitude. Start enjoying the little thing. Start drinking your tea and don't think, oh, it might be poison. There's possibility that this pomegranate in here maybe had some bird shit on it and it wasn't washed well and I'm drinking it. All of that could be turning you like sick. But I'm going to drink it and it's great. I'm going to enjoy the taste and the warmth it gives me. It keeps me safe from these people here who constantly worried about things that are not true. Damn it, Stephen. All right. So we have major paper. Oh, where was it? So she seemed happy to see me and always gives me these hugs. All right. I agree because I think using breakup might help to. Oh, Luna. Okay. Okay, since last week before that, because I don't want to distract her from. Okay, fine. You see, oh, okay, we did all that, didn't we? Okay, Steven said I picked up the extra day of work. Today I did it because she was supposed to be here in the same work area as me, but she got canceled. I texted her, but her texts are short and maybe she's busy. I was at the nurse's station earlier and these girls brought up my past relationship since they knew her. Plus, there is this couple at work that are all over each other and make it so obvious. All right? To me, it's kind of childish at work, but I thought that's how I want mine to be. So it just got me down to it. No, 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 don't. Their behavior is not normal, not yours. Yours and your girlfriend is professional. You're not supposed to be all over each other in the workplace. That's stupid. So those people are simply just not behaving appropriately. So don't think that you should be down because they're behaving that way. No, I don't know. You can maybe see, I don't know, two cats all over each other, but that's not appropriate for two humans to do. And these two people who are all over themselves, they're still juvenile. Maybe if nobody sees it, okay here and there, but a little bit extra than that is just unprofessional, and it's not the place, and it's not the way you should be hoping that this would be between you and your girlfriend. No, just have some sense in your head and don't fall for these kind of bullshit. No, stay proper, and whatever happens, happens. It didn't. Don't give a shit. That's all. And we have Luna says, I agree because I think using hashtag breakup or S breakups might help to get more people attention, especially this year due to COVID, unfortunate as the maybe. Unfortunate as that may be. Yeah, okay. Major Paper says, hi Mehran, appreciate your work. Adil from Belgium. Ah, bonsoir, monsieur. Is it? Did I say, is it? Let me know about your gender age as well, because I'm not sure if Adil is from Adil. I can't tell if you're a man or woman. So, hi Maran, appreciate your work. I'm Adil from Belgium, 25. I'm currently recovering from HOCD very well, but each time I see something on TV or on the net, I fall in that HOCD trap again. Just don't be scared of it. Just understand that that's not you, that's the brain. Call it for what it is. It's OCD, it's not me. It's HOCD, it's not me. It's intrusive thoughts, it's not me. Separate yourself from brain, thought, and you. You guys must have seen this video of mine, which if you haven't, please do. You guys think that the only discussions that we have about these topics is on the live talks. But I have two big playlists on this topic of HOCD. One that discusses the details and interpretation of thoughts that comes to your head, feelings and sensations and all that bullshit. And the other one is just about, not about a topic, but about the role of brain, thoughts, and you. And I want you to focus on this, and I want you to watch this video that I'm going to suggest here. There we go. That's a short version of the, I think, 3-part version that I have for you guys. It is part 1, no, part 1, is it? See, there are lots of things here. It's like why you talk to your brain, part 1, part 2, and part 3. How to stop your brain. HOCD is brain's conspiracy, part 1, part 2, and then there's one that is part 1 and 2 together. Who is talking to God is again talking about intrusive thoughts, brain, and you, which I am sending you one with title of Why Brain Goes Nuts is also there. Intrusive thoughts, HOCD, brain, and you. That's the version I'm sending you. It's in 3 parts, but I'm sending you the short version of it. And there's long version. There's 20 minutes is a long version. 8 minutes is a short version. So here it is. If you guys go on the search engine of my channel and put in the word brain, just brain, B-R-A-I-N, brain, you will have number of these that is automatically in my playlist, Intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos. You will see all these and more videos that is talking about separation of the brain and you and thoughts. And this is the one that I want you to see. And then there's also one that I really want you guys to watch, which is I don't know what the name of that thing was. I have to name them different. Something about brain's conspiracies. There's one that I use the quantum physics experiment that they've done to show how the electrons change arrangements when there is an observer, which I've proven using that when you look for thoughts, you can't find them, which puts you, the me, outside of brain, which shows you the separation beyond the shadow of the doubt, the separation between brain and you. So you will know what brain suggests is not you. It's work of the brain due to its needs, trying to protect you, or it's malfunctioning. So these are works that I have done that I want you guys to take advantage of it. So if you don't, then, you know, I don't know where that is, but maybe I can find that later. So let's get back to our discussions here. Major paper says, any advice how to avoid that? Yeah, I think I mentioned that right now. Yeah. You need to focus on the separation. The fact that you are bamboozled by this is because most of you guys think your brain is you. If you don't understand that, then you will constantly be subjected to whatever the shit the brain comes up with, which it's due to its anxiety, its program to protect you, its malfunction. But when you clearly understand with scientific background and scientific proof that you are not the brain, brain is not you, you're separated from the brain, and there is more to you than apparatuses that you have in your body, such as brain and kidneys and this and that, then you realize that you are separate from what the brain suggests as well. And again, I've already created this 4-piece videos, which I will edit it, but the distortion and noise was so much in it because of the malfunction of the camera. So I may have to redo it, but so the discussions we had today about Dr. Roger Sperry and Dr. Penfield and Dr. Owen and Dr. Egnar, their works on showing that you cannot localize intellect and awareness in the brain. That there is more to you than the brain, you're beyond brain, then you'll understand that the brain's malfunction does not mean that it can, by suggestions, change your persona, your character, your values, your intellect, your intellectual interests, your know-how, and your gender. None of that can be done by the brain or thought or suggestions. And you got to be aware of it through understanding the works of scholars, of philosophers of hundreds of years ago, and scholars and scientists and neurosurgeons of with today's technology, that they all have proven this. So if you don't want to rely on any of these facts and only rely on the fucking bullshit that comes out of the bloody hell brain that is malfunctioning, then that's your own choice. I cannot help you with that. There is no cure to crazy. So in other words, either understand the logics and the scientific facts, or go fuck yourselves. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's actually a joke, just making sure that you understand that you have a choice. You don't have to be bamboozled by the malfunctioning of apparatus of the brain. You have to understand that. You're beyond these suggestions and thoughts and the brain's function. When you understand that, then you will deal with these things as what they are. Malfunction, a disorder, not you. A malfunction of what belongs to you. Suggestion, thoughts. But nothing else is falling off or doing anything. Just is trying to reprogram you, but it's malfunction, and you're going to not be reprogrammed by knowing what's happening and not taking it as it has any power over you, and just understand that this malfunction, I will just recognize it, yet I continue my preference and focus on what I am and continue my life and what I want to accomplish there until it learns that I'm not paying attention to it. There is no player here for it, and there's no customer for what it's trying to sell, the intrusive thoughts. And then eventually it subsides because it doesn't see any energy coming back from its suggestions. There's no engagement of it. There's no debate and discussions about it. You simply notice it, recognize it, and then diss it and ignore it and move about your business. And the brain recognizes that these are not appreciated. Then it rewires itself through your repetition of the same behavior. When coded nucleus that is supposed to do all these automatically is not functioning automatically, you will show that to the brain by your behavior of ignoring it and so on that we just talked about. And the brain rewires itself through neuroplasticity, and you get on and over this hurdle. And every time that it ever showed up again, you know what it is. And you deal with it as you did this time and every time. And it keeps getting less and less, and you live your life as balanced and according to your preferences and your values. All right. Protect your values. You cannot just simply, believe anything that is thrown at you. You gauge them all against your values, and then you make the appropriate behavior and judgment on them. All right. Chester said it perfectly. When it show up, you do a Jedi trick, says, these are not the intrusive thoughts you're looking for. These are not the thoughts you want to pay attention to. There we go. Good for you, Chester. That's my boy. Knows how to handle this. And Leah 24 says, hi, female 20, France, bonsoir, mademoiselle. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? I think I have HOCD, she says. Lately, I felt like I enjoyed the thought of lesbian sex and relationship, and it scares me. It felt convincing. How do we know it's not denying? Well, because you will watch the video that I have that says, "Are you in denial?" And then you will be there is a video that I have that it says, "Are you in denial?" But I don't know, where is it? Are you in, let's see if that, okay, there it is. I found it. There is the video for you. Fix that here. There's the video for you. Are you in denial? So you watch this, and that will be helpful to you. Leah. Chester says, media, where's media? He admitted that it's his fault for not treating her better. Oh, who are you talking about? Oh, Chester says, Maron, I need your advice. My friend has been very depressed for the past 3 months. He found out his girlfriend was meeting another guy. They didn't officially broke up, but his girlfriend deleted him from social. From social media. He admitted that it's his fault for not treating her better. How do I encourage him to move on and accept that his 10 years relationship with his girlfriend isn't over? He keeps telling me that he wasted 10 years of his life and he feels numb. No, he didn't waste, because if he hadn't gone through that 10 years, he wouldn't be the person that he is. He's learned certain things, he's experienced certain things, he has a certain outlook on life now because of that 10 years, however it was. He needed to have that 10 years in order to be who he is today. So he didn't waste it, he was living. Now, the fact that she is now changed her mind, or for one reason or another, right or wrong, she's gone to somebody else or taken a different path, that has got nothing to do with the fact that he wasted the years. Maybe he wouldn't have been. She wouldn't have gone somewhere else. Would he still say, wasted my time? What if somebody lives with someone for like 30 years and 25 years of it was good years, and then eventually they break up? So he's going to say all 30 years was not good? No, it's only certain events causes someone to make a decision, and that decision could be either hasty or stupid or legitimate, logical. But either way, it can't take away the years that they actually did spend together. And it wasn't all bad. There were certain things that were not compatible because they're two different consciousnesses, and that's what happens between people. But you can't suddenly come because she chose at certain point in the relationship to go to somewhere else or change path. That means he has been bad all the time, or this relation has been bad all the time, or this whole 10 years was wasted time. That doesn't make sense, does it? What if last year they would have decided that they just want to take a journey on their own and separate? Would you say that 9 years before it was a waste of time? No, you wouldn't. Only this year, this suggestion or this action has happened that she's left. So the 9 years that she hadn't left or you hadn't broken up, it was okay, tolerable. So it wasn't wasted time then. Suddenly now it's wasted time because she has moved. What if you guys would have decided mutually to go separate ways? Would you still call it? No, because one has decided, the other didn't agree with that decision, is not calling it 10 years was wasted. But this happens between everybody. A man and wife, they live together for maybe 60 years and then maybe they divorce. Who knows? Are they going to say that the whole thing was waste of time? No, that was a life. And you decided to spend a few years of it, 10 years of it, 5 years of it, 20 years of it, this way or that way. It's part of the life. It's not waste of time, but you learned a lot from it anyhow. So now tell him that, look, I don't know how old is he. You didn't tell me how old they are. But regardless, you can move on and find another girlfriend. Who wants a girlfriend who goes with another guy? I don't care what kind of relationship you guys had. The fact that she hasn't broken up with you and she deletes you from social media and goes to that means she's got no class and no clues of what's going on, what human relations are all about. So you should from now on, just because of that behavior, simply disqualify her, unwant her, and you don't want her anymore because she's not qualified. And move on. And whatever mistake you think you've made, you're not supposed to be the entertainment center for your girlfriend. You're supposed to be in a relationship. And as long as you haven't been abusive to physically or emotionally abuse her, and simply maybe you didn't do as good as you could have, or you just couldn't do any better, well, that's not a problem. That's between two people, and she can choose to separate and go. So right now, because of her behavior and the way she handled whatever changes she wanted to make in her life, you should unwant her and disqualify her and move on with your life because she doesn't deserve your attention anymore. That's how you should be thinking. All right. The guy next door says, Chester, I guess, okay, yeah. All right. And 47 Gaming says, hey, Miran. Oh, you changed my name, did you? M-I-R-A-N? It's M-E-H-R-A-N, but who cares? He says, hey, Miran, it's very late here in India. Still came to check your live stream. Good for you. Good for you. Thank you for that. Oh, there it is. He fixed it up. Says Mehran, sorry. Yeah, I know it's probably autocorrect. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. And we've got 17 people and 14 likes. The other 3 people, get on with the program. Click on like, for heaven's sake. Otherwise, I'm going to send you a cover charge. There we go. And now we have, what do we have here? We have Gato says it's okay. Oh, thank you. You checked it? The guy next door says, okay, the guy next door is talking to Chester. Beyond the Wash says, hi, Mehran. Hope this finds you well. Patrick here, male 30, Ireland. Hello, Patrick. Good to see you. Says, moving forward with my studies and my goals after recent breakup. Aha, that's my boy. Says, my ex texted me to break up, saying she felt the spark and passion was gone. Yeah, well, as I mentioned last time, you want to spark continuously all the time. Go open the hood of your car and you will see spark plugs sparking all the times with no reason. You know, when it's on, it's on. There's no need for sparking again. But that's in the engine. In the real life, when you guys are together and you want to keep having spark, well, that's going to be too annoying and too cumbersome. You need to focus on the rhythm of the engine of your relationship to move forward, find compatibilities, find goals, to build life, rather than constantly looking for a spike. Why? You want to have some kind of an excuse to like each other, or focus on who you are and how you are compatible. Spark is for the moment that you want to make the fire. You need the spark. Once the fire keeps going, you got to maintain it. Put in the logs in there. So the same thing. You guys had spark enough, and you guys got together. Now you're in a relationship. Now you're supposed to learn about each other's consciousness, find compatibilities, meaning maintaining the relationship, maintaining the fire. But you keep looking for a spark. That's short-lived. Spark is an excuse. It's not the real rhythm of the relationship or the fire. So you need to focus on more solid ground, solid reasons for relationship, not keep the spark going so the relationship will be excited and be staying together. No, for that you're going to go crazy after a while to keep all that excitement and the sparks going. You're supposed to bring tranquility and calmness and flow of the relationship, meaning maintaining through certain mechanical processes, which leads to an order, and that order becomes the engine of where your minds, both of yours, will find security in it and will be committed to build a relationship. Otherwise, spark is sort of like crazy people keep making sparks. That means they have no goal, no nothing to accomplish. They just do different things just to create attention. Is that what you want? If that's what she wanted, then she better go and leave you alone so you can actually attend to bigger and better things and accomplish things such as your studies. More power to you and good for you. This is 3 months relationship. Says my ex texted me to break up as she felt the spark and passion was gone. 3 months relationship, wanted to be friends. Okay, I don't need to be friends. Bug it up. Move on. I've got things to do. I don't have time to be oscillating with your relationship. Friend. She was my girlfriend, now she's friend. Now who's she going out with? Oh, I'm feeling jealous. Or just say, have a nice day. I've got more important things to do, which is your studies. That's where the future is. And Beyond the Wash says, with your help, I'm truly proud to respond, wishing her well and respecting her choice. It came to my attention afterwards that there was another guy in the picture before we broke up, which was disappointing, but makes everything very clear. It did make me consider that she was never really into the relationship, but was surprised she became very disrespectful all of a sudden. Why does this happen? Because you called her out, and that tells you her real character. So good for you. In hindsight, this person was not a good choice. Absolutely. Right now, I'm focused on the truth. Good for you. Thank you, as always, for your help, Mehran. You're a light in the dark for all of us, for us all. Well, my pleasure, and I appreciate that. And he says, sorry for the book. No, it's perfectly fine. I'm delighted that you have come to that conclusion and you see it as you should. And more power to you. Good for you. You're making the right approach and right decision, and you're focusing on what's most important, which is your studies. And that's where the bucks are, and that's where the future, and that's where the happiness, and that's where all the other girls that are awaiting to get to know you are. Go accomplish what you need to accomplish, and the rest of it will fall into place naturally. And Major Paper says, Man 25, bonsoir, sir, bonsoir, monsieur. And merci beaucoup for that. Aman says, my friend every day calls me. He points out that my behavior is gayish and tried to make me feel less manly. Perhaps not. Perhaps he's trying to, help you to notice that that is not you and your behavior doesn't complement you. Then he wants to bring that to your attention, and you can tell him, oh, thanks for telling me that. I will take a note of it and check it out. But however, it doesn't matter how the behavior looks like. I'm not gay, so that's all it counts. So, and or if he's trying to put you down and make you feel bad, then as I said before, these are the friends that you're supposed to stay away from. Friend is not someone who's going to make you feel bad. Friend is not someone who's not going to be there when you have challenges. Friend is someone who's actually going to be supporting you in order to deal with whatever it is that is challenging you. So if these people are not behaving the way they should, then they're not friends. And if they're not friends, why are you hanging around with them? What for? You keep telling me that he's doing this, saying this, but you're still hanging around with them. Just don't contact with him. And if he contacts you, says, well, you know, this is how you think about me, and that makes me feel uncomfortable, and therefore I don't see any benefit from hanging around with you because you're not a true friend. A true friend would try to be positive and supportive in helping with a person that is a friend who's going through a challenge, and not you trying to use that challenge and make me feel, you know, small or low or negative or however about myself. So that should be the end of that. And it says, I feel this urge to call him every day. I don't know why I feel to call him every day. And he don't say it directly, but point it to show that I am less manly. The behavior isn't there for HOCD. It's product of HOCD. Yeah. Oh, the behavior isn't there before HOCD. It's part of HOCD. Yeah, sure. So stay away from these people who are not helping you get over this, you know, malfunction, and save yourself. The same friend forces me to talk with a girl to make her my girlfriend. He told her that I'm having crush on her, but I feel numbness emotionally towards girls, so I deny because I can't talk with numbness. Well, tell your friend that, look, I'm not ready to have a girlfriend, so it's good that we hang around. Or, you know, obviously he's not thinking about you that you're gay. He actually thinks of you that you're not gay. That's why he's introducing you with girls and so on, and that's not bad. But if you don't feel like talking to girls because right now you're challenged with these illusions and malfunctions, then you don't have to. But just tell them, hey, I really appreciate that you're setting me up with this girl, but right now I don't know. Somehow I'm kind of trying to, you know, wait until I feel up to it. I don't want to have a girlfriend right now. Simple. And then it says, but I feel numbness because I can't talk with numbness. Then he calls me gay indirectly. Well, you know, look, don't be bothered by what he calls you. Just focus on what it is that you're trying to understand and deal with. And again, go through the stuff, the links of the psychotherapists that are put in there for you to make it clear for yourself that these are HOCD, these are malfunctions of the brain, and then you make yourself educated in that, clear in that, and in time, by continuously doing the same, and perhaps you will find a psychotherapist who is expert in HOCD and OCD, and they must be expert in that, otherwise not every psychotherapist knows how to deal with this. Then they will help you to perhaps try the ERP, exposure response therapy, exposure response prevention therapy, and then they will, you know, you will see a different level of how to handle this thing, and then eventually you get back to where you need to be. And Engledani says, 23 male, London. And thank you so much for your videos, Mehran. I'm truly better having come out of a previous relationship and finding your work. Now I have a loved girlfriend. Ah, good for you. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Steven says, I guess I doubt myself because in person she seems fine, but outside of work She's not initiating text, and I don't text her because of how I was overdoing it before. Good. Because of this way, this is why I feel the connection isn't how I want it to be, but I keep trying to make that happen. Listen, she's a human being. She's got her own challenges in life. She may be more serious about her life than you are, because you seem to think life is roaming around her attention to you, but you are neglecting maybe there are other things that you would accomplish, and then indirectly they would cause the same thing that you're expecting a relationship with her to become even stronger. So she's focusing on the things that she has to deal with. She doesn't know where it's going to go with you, if it ever between you two will become something really serious or whatnot. And even if it does, she's trying to protect her future by educating herself and getting a better job to be able to support herself. And instead, all you're doing is to think about, no, my life will be perfect if she just pays attention to me. Come on, give it a balance. A little attention is enough and is good enough, but there are other things in life that you should pay attention to. And it's not all about, her texting you. It's about once in a while is enough, and understand that she's trying to accomplish something, and continue the way that you've been doing, respecting her time and keeping in touch as well, but not overly, so she will also have a good feeling about being in a relationship with you, than thinking that you expect so much attention, you expect so much text interactions, and then that takes away her focus on what she wants to accomplish, and that's going to be another different challenge to handle, and that's not good. So keep on doing what you're doing, stay away, and give her the space, and let the nature take its course. And Chester says, thank you, Mahalo Mehran. I will let him know. By the way, he's in his early 30s. All right, Mahalo. Yeah, let him know. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. There are other people who have been in a relationship for 20, 30 years, then their wife left. And that would be more, and with a couple of children too. So, so he's doing perfectly fine. Ash says, these are the same friends I had to let go of them. I think Ash is talking to Aman. These are the same friends I had to let go of when I realized some were just jealous haters before I got HOCD. Because I felt confident, I'm a good musician, good with women, decent looking, and funny. They couldn't, wouldn't support me while I was going through HOCD. Most turned their backs on me while I was down. But I was there for them anytime they were down. This wasn't contractual. This is just how I thought friendships were supposed to be. Right you are. Maybe I was wrong. 2 years after HOCD, total isolation, depression, and suicidal thoughts, not speaking to absolutely anybody. They messaged me recently after so long telling me they're bored and lonely due to lockdown. And I was tempted to laugh in their faces. But I rose above it and gave them advice on how to cope. Good for you. Good for you. I wish them the best. Excellent. Because you're powerful. You don't need other people's attention, but you will give the needy what they could ask. But not if they don't ask. So I'm proud of you, Ash. Let me tell you, I believe you're a very intelligent person. And you should be proud of that. Your discussions, conversations, and attention, and ability to learn, and interest to learn and discover things rather than folding and being manipulated, whether it's by people or by brain thoughts, that has put you in a category of promising for your balance and future and happiness. Regardless of what challenges hit you, you will be able to sift through it and manage it, deal with it, negotiate, become an expert navigator. And that's what we all have to be focusing on. Become an expert navigator. No space, no road will be free from debris and circumstances and obstacles. It is up to us to become a good navigator, good pilot, a good negotiator, to be able to find our way through shit and debris and discomforts and challenges and darkness, and be able to navigate to the beacon that calls, and that's where the tranquility resides. And we focus on that, not on challenges. We focus on where we want to go and accomplish, on who we are, what our values are, not the challenges and the nonsense and deviations and manipulations. And that is how we roll, because this is the way. So, that's for the Mandalorians enthusiasts. Mahalo, Chester. This is the way. And this is how we roll. And Stephen says, you have turned into my life and relationship coach. All right. So Stephen says, okay, thank you, Mehran. Yes, you're welcome. And Sean Holloway says, on average, how long does it take for HOCD to go away? It's about your approach. It's not about it. If it's up to the brain, the son of a bitch wants to stay all the time, because the brain wants to say, I am you. But you, with your behavior, say, listen, nobody is me but me. I am beyond and above all these apparatuses and tools and the segments and portions and faculties of my entity. Neither my liver or kidney or the brain is me. I am before any of you can claim any ownership. I am the master here. You know? So you have to understand that you were here way before the brain was ever given to you as a new apparatus. Until 40,000 years ago, we only had the stem brain. We were living like animals, on instinct. And everything was clear, hardwired. No HOCD, no nothing. Sleep, eat, have sex, sexuality was all clear, no doubt about it. Why? Because there was no brain ability to think. Because it's the thinking that is the problem, not your sexuality. Sexuality doesn't change. You're born however you're born. You're born to be heterosexual, you're heterosexual the rest of your life. You're born homosexual, you're homosexual the rest of your life. The rest of it is the thought. And since thought didn't exist 40,000 years ago, we had no intrusions of any kind. No intrusive thoughts, no questions, no hesitations, no doubt, no manipulations, no confusion, no nothing. We would sleep when we needed to. We would eat, we would hunt, we would have sex, and our sexual inclination was clear, and there was no interference or suggestions by thoughts, because brain wasn't able, didn't have the capability of thinking or speaking. Therefore, we were free. Now we have a sophisticated brain, and it goes malfunctioning because it's an electrical system. And like any other apparatus, it malfunctions. And we got to understand, not be so arrogant to think that we're perfect. And because I think I'm perfect, hence my ego, therefore, I cannot think that anything could ever go wrong with me and I could malfunction. That's bullshit. We're not perfect. We malfunction. Everything about us malfunctions. You're okay with understanding that the intestine malfunctions, you get diarrhea. You're okay with that. You can understand that's a malfunction. When you have diarrhea, you don't say, oh, I am diarrhea. I like diarrhea. That's how I am. No, you don't say that. You clearly know that's a malfunction. Biologically, when things go wrong, your kidney, things, they don't function well, you understand these malfunctions. It's not its normality. But when the brain conjures up bullshit, you have a hard time recognizing that it's malfunctioning. Just like any other part of you. Brain is also a segment of you. It malfunctions like any other part. In fact, more, because it's electrical system. And you got to be able to understand these things, that you're beyond brain. You're beyond everything else that is in you. In fact, as I told you, with all these scientists and neurosurgeons experiments, they have proven without the shadow, beyond the shadow of the doubt, that you are beyond brain. Brain is not you, you're not the brain. They've proven that scientifically. So don't believe the bullshit of the brain conjuring up thoughts and intrusive images and suggestions and suddenly thinking, oh, my gender is changing because the thought of it. Bullshit. Stand your ground, protect your values, and know how to deal with it by checking out the links of the psychotherapists and psychologists and scientists that talk about the malfunction of the brain and OCD and all the subsets of OCD, including pedophile OCD, religious OCD, homosexual OCD, and all other subsets, and learn about it and become the mechanic of your machine. This is where the problems are. And when you learn it, then you become more confident about, I can handle my malfunctions and I can sift them through and I can see them, I can notice them, and then I won't be bamboozled. That's how you roll. Because this is the way. All right. So, what do you say if I take a quick break and pull those curtains because there's so much light in my face? Or shall we end it? Let's see. Maybe there's a couple of more questions. I can end it here. And so Ash says they messaged me recently after long telling me they, oh, I got that one. And Sean Holloway says, on average, how long does it take for HOC to go away? Oh, we responded to that. He says, because I fucking hate it and it's taking over my happiness in life. No, it cannot. It's a glitch. Handle it. You're not alone. Every single human being on earth has intrusive thoughts. But when the caudate nucleus works perfectly and automatically shuts down the intrusive thoughts based on the values that is already known by the caudate nucleus and the brain system and the inward system of yours about everything about you, including your manners, morals, personalities, gender, preferences, inclinations. They're all your values. And caudate nucleus functions based on those values and automatically shuts down the intrusive thoughts. But when it doesn't, that's for all people in the world. When the intrusive thought shows up, caudate nucleus shuts it down based on knowing who you are, what you are, and everything else about you. But when there is an OCD and malfunction in the performance and function of the caudate nucleus, which is in the striatum, then you need to, with your behavior, take over and kind of manually put that gear in place where caudate nucleus used to do it automatically. And you, by behaving the way we've talked about, ignoring paying attention to these intrusive thoughts, recognizing them for what they are, calling them what they are, according to what Dr. Schwartz suggests, and then you go on with your regular day-to-day tasks and what you want to accomplish, and eventually your behavior will rewire your brain. Even though caudate nucleus is not functioning automatically anymore, but it will rewire your brain and teaches it that these things don't have a buyer here. And these thoughts and suggestions are not interesting to me because I'm not paying attention to it. I recognize them that they're intrusive and I'm not paying attention to them. Therefore, I suffocate you from expectation of interchange and exchange of energy on this topic when you suggest it, Mr. Brain, and then I go on with my life. And then you will learn and rewire yourself that these things don't have a place here. And eventually they decrease, subside, because you are doing the job of the caudate nucleus that it was supposed to do it automatically, but nevertheless, you're getting that information to the prefrontal cortex, and it will stop that thread of questions or suggestions, because it sees they respond instead of automatically coming to it to shut it down. By your behavior is eventually getting to it and tell it that, hey, it's not of interest to me. And over time, by repetition, it will rewire yourself through neuroplasticity, and eventually caudate nucleus fires back on and resets itself. And many of you can enjoy meditation, because meditation increases the GABA neurotransmitter, which is about 30% increase in a half an hour of a meditation. And that neurotransmitter is responsible for being anti-depression and anxiety and management. It's positive for management of intrusive thoughts. GABA neurotransmitter. Now scientists know which neurotransmitter is good for what. And then meditation also increases serotonin, melatonin. It decreases by 50% the cortisol level, and increases the growth hormones by, I don't know, 400%, or some percentage that I may not have remembered it properly. So meditation is very important. And one of the other ways to get the anxiety out of your system when you feel the need to do it is simply by using the parafacial nuclei breathing system instead of the pre-Butzinger complex, which is the normal breathing system, is done by the system called pre-Butzinger complex. This is the normal breathing system. But parafacial nuclei is the other breathing system, which allows you to manipulate the normal breathing and breathe, let's say, more than, like when you're crying or laughing and you breathe like that. That is not the pre-Butzinger complex system doing the breathing for you. It's the parafacial nuclei. So by doing that when you feel anxiety, meaning instead of this kind of breathing, you do this. You do this. This double breathing in and then breathing out, it's like a little shock that the psychotherapists give to the brain of a person who's suffering from mental challenges, in order to give a shock to the brain to jolt out of that groove that is constantly looping in the negative depression looping. It gives you a jolt to give you a breather, to give you a chance to start doing positive things, such as what you don't feel like doing when you're depressed or anxious, let's just use exercise, whatnot. But this kind of shock gives you a chance to want to do positive things. So when you do the breathing, it is like that shock, which you can give it to yourself by simply breathing in this style, which gives a momentary jolt to get your mind out of the intrusive thought loop and give you a positive lift, to give you a chance to get engaged in things that you didn't otherwise feel like, such as exercise, go for a walk, go for, I don't know, window shopping, go clean your home, or some activity that will bring more of the energy that you expect to help you to boost you out of that mode that you're sitting. So, and then there is also other kinds of severe breathing exercises which are helpful. I find it very interesting. That's the Wim Hof system, which you breathe in long breaths 30 times, and then the 30th times you don't breathe up. You just let it out, extend it outward, and you wait there. And depending on your abilities, and if your heart is good, and you check that with your doctor before you're doing any of these exercises or practices that I'm suggesting, you check with your physician, you make sure you're healthy physically and mentally, and then you will perhaps go on Wim Hof's site and learn how to do it. And then you wait there for about, I don't know, 90 seconds, depending on how it is for you, and then you train yourself, and that amazingly gets the depression and the anxiety away, and rejolts and reboots all the neurological deficiencies and gets you back on where you're supposed to be. So you train that, and you bring your the power of the mind that it needs to reset itself and correct everything through those kind of exercises. So oh, here it is. Ash is also in his comment talking. That's a coordination of mind, I guess. Just as I was talking about Wim Hof, you were also thinking about Wim Hof. Interesting. I remember we used to do all these things before they become famous, because we were studying Aikido, practicing Aikido in university, and we had a very strong training. And often we would be taken to the mountains in the middle of the winter, when the waterfall coming out from some part of the mountain was frozen the week before, but just opened up, not to be frozen pretty much. And we would actually meditate. Our instructor was there supervising. We would meditate, take clothes off, just the lower pants be there, and we would be meditating and then cutting key and focusing, and then going into the cold water, ice water in the middle of the winter, and then trying to keep the mind and body coordinated, because the body starts shaking because of the cold, but you calm through the focus of the mind and body coordination. And then when you're calm enough, the instructor lets you out. So we used to do that in my training at the university, and then I used to do that with my students here in Canada. We used to go to Shannon Fall and find the coldest pond that waterfall from the mountain was coming down. And in this case, we didn't have the waterfall, so we would meditate and we would jump into the puddle, in not the puddle, the actual lake portion of the lake, which was had enough water for you to swim in it, and it was cold like hell. And but if you're keeping mind and body coordinated, focus on the point that I was talking to you about in the meditation classes that we had, then you will calm down, and then you'll come out. And that cold water gives the anxiety and the shock to the system, but yet you can overcome it by your focus and calmness, which resets your system. And nobody was talking about it scientifically then, but it was being done for thousands of years. And yet we were doing it as well. Now there are names to it. They're making it famous through all measurements and so on, and the celebrities and so on. So these are all practices that have been always available to human beings, but we have lost touch with what makes our nature actually reboot itself and reset itself. And we're only focusing on things that are being said here and there, or just scientific stuff, and forgot about the natural ways that we could have control on our well-being and resetting it. These are all there. And I don't know, hopefully maybe someday we'll have the world to be normalized, and we have enough finances that I can maybe travel and put boot camps, and then we would be able to engage in such meditations and such exercises, and share with the others and have everyone benefit from it. And Sean Holloway says, where's Sean? Sean, where'd you go? Uh, where are we? Ash as well. Thank you, Mehran. But I have massive ego issues. You do. Maybe you should make a Skype appointment with me and explore that. You're an intelligent young man, and you should be able to get over all that. And Ash says, so I don't know how promising that will be. What? What will be? Let's see if there's anything before that. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know how promising that will be. I found being alone for so long made my ego more insufferable. Because I've been trying to preserve how I was before HOCD, because I believe in myself, I need humbling. Look, you don't have to preserve it, you are. You know, when a fly comes to you, you don't try to preserve yourself. You are. You just swat the fly away, meaning you don't pay attention. You just do this and do your own thing. You know, don't pay attention to it. Just do the, wave your hand, get it away, and do your thing. Same thing, HOCD shows up. You're still there. It doesn't change you. But you think that it can. Therefore, you just disregard it and focus on. By focusing on what you're trying to accomplish and who you are, as always, just focusing on what it is that you want to accomplish, it's like that wave you do to the fly. And then eventually, the fly doesn't show up anymore. And it says, yet I can't tell if HOCD has already humbled me or if it's just beaten me down. All I know is that I have to go forward despite that. Good for you. But I want the confidence to not be so arrogant anymore. Yeah, that's fine. But HOCD is uncomfortable, but it's not going to be the controller of your life. You are the master. You make decisions. You have choices, power of choice. Brain doesn't have power of choice, because the neurosurgeons, when they were doing the examinations and experiments with the brain, they could not localize intellectual points in the brain. They could not localize or stimulate a certain train of thoughts as far as your choices, your preferences. They could not localize that. They could not influence that. That means they're not up to the brain. They are within you. The you who is more than the brain. That is where it's all at. So nothing can change you, but it can try to unfocus or confuse you. But if you see through it, see through the bullshit, then you are on the right track. And eventually, the bullshit, the fly, will give up. Can't hang around without your attention. It can only hang around with your attention. That's where the source of the power is. When you don't pay attention to it, focus on your life, it will be deprived of life and energy. And attention is that energy. Attention brings something that looks like it can be in existence. But when you don't pay attention to it, that what could be in existence or could think that it can be in existence, the illusion that looks like it's in existence, it dissipates because there's no attention. Things can only be visible if there's attention to them. You can be in Louvre Museum in Paris and the Mona Lisa is on the wall. But if you don't pay attention to it, it's not visible. You're looking at something else. So regardless of how important or how it's trying, or even somebody stands in front of it and says, hey, if you're not looking at it, you're not paying attention to it, it won't matter. It won't have any effect. And that's how you deal with HOCD. You recognize it's there, but you don't pay attention to it. Eventually, you will get tired. It's like the person in front of the Mona Lisa, it gets tired. He's not paying attention. How long can I go on with this? It suffocates from lack of attention. And that's what HOCD treatment should be part And Sean says, and by the way, Ash says, by the way, male 32 UK. Thank you for that, Ash. Sean says, so if I've always been heterosexual, does that mean it's impossible to change? Yes. It's chromosomes. As I said before, Sean, you're not cow's milk. Today you're milk, and then a few days later, due to temperature, you're sour milk, you're buttermilk. And then later on, you may change to yogurt. And then after a long time, you become cheese. That's not like that. It's chromosomes. They don't change. Suggestions are not evidence for change because the choice is in front of suggestions. The power of reasoning and logic and choice is where it's all at. That's where you are, your intellect, your awareness, your wisdom. So people can make suggestions towards me, you, everybody else. Buy this product, trying to convince you of this. Or they call you names. You're not this gender, you're that gender. That doesn't make you change. It's their uttering, their opinion. And the same thing, brain is also not you, just like those people out there. And it makes suggestions. And that suggestions is just like those people's suggestions out there. It doesn't make any change in you. It confuses you. It disrespects you. It makes you feel like, oh, what if it's true? And if you have an OCD, you go nuts about it. You data hunt it. You entertain it. But nothing in reality and actuality would change. It's a perception. The problem with us in human beings are that we perceive things rather than observing. If you observe that such a thought came to mind, whatever it is, homosexual thoughts or, okay, I observe what it is. It's a bad thoughts. That's it. To you, you are not a homosexual, you're heterosexual, so that's considered a bad thoughts. That's it. That's the end of it. But you don't stay there. You see a good-looking guy, you see, oh, it's good-looking. You recognize good-looking. Okay, that's normal. We are trained to recognize good looks of other people. Good looks of everything. Dogs, horses, handbags, suits, whatever, and other people. Same gender or not. But you don't stay there. That's an observation. Just observe it. Okay, good look. That's it. But you don't. You associate it with a conclusion, with a label. You perceive it. You allow the perception to go to a label, to go to a conclusion. The label, homosexuality, conclusion, gayness, this and that. Then the association of good looks to sex and so on, that the brain is so fast in associating words and concepts that it takes you somewhere that all you did was notice something's good look, someone's good look, which is natural ability, and everybody does that and should do that. But the conclusion, labels, words, meanings, and association of words takes you somewhere because you're perceiving things rather than simply observe it. That's what it was. A good-looking man. Okay, fine. That's nice. I prefer to have a good-looking friends than ugly-looking friends. Well, that's how it is. Because it kind of makes me feel like I'm more important. I've got good-looking people. Because this is the perception we have. Good-looking people means better quality. Later on, you may be friend with the person and say, oh, he's an asshole, and then you sever your friendship. But at the beginning, we are brainwashed to think good-looking things means better quality. So better friendship, better, camaraderie and all that. But that's what it is. You observe it as what it is, and that's the end of it. But we don't. We perceive, and that's a problem. Perception versus observing. And I have a video on that, by the way. Not regarding HOCD, but about observing and perceiving. All right. And we've got so much light in my head, I don't think anybody can see me anymore, so we try to end it as quickly as we can. Oh my goodness. I gotta go, guys. I gotta end it. I have an appointment that I have to... Just one moment, please, guys. I have an appointment, which I'm a bit late, but hang on. So we have here, what do we have here? Let me finish this. Okay. All right, Steven says, okay, you guys are talking. All right. So Petite Man says, welcome to you. Oh, hello, Petite Man, and thank you for joining the channel. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad to see you here. Petite Man has become a member. Don't worry, don't forget, guys, you can become a member and support the channel. And as soon as we have enough people for a Zoom meeting for 10 people of our members, then we will have that. But nobody has registered. So unless you register and send me an email and pay the fee for it, then if you're a member, your fee instead of $50 will be $25. And if you're not a member, it will be $50, but 10 people at a time for a Zoom meeting, which we can register. And soon enough, I'll hope to have that all figured out on my site. But until then, you can email me and then we can go from there. That you want to participate in the Zoom, and then you go to my PayPal and then send the fee until we have the category for it on my site, which you can register. Slobodan says, if I had found you at the beginning of the HOCD, I would have gotten rid of it a long time ago. Good to hear that, Slobodan. And well, it's not too late. We're here and we'll all work it out together. And Ash says, take care, Mehran, and thanks again, brother. You're quite welcome, Ash. Be good, stay well. And Sean says, thank you very much, man. And thank you very much for all. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I got to go. I have an appointment, and I look forward to talk to you guys. Oh, by the way, maybe tonight at 9 p.m. I have another one live, 8 or 9 p.m. I'll start. But if not, next week, in the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.